Okay, Hiroshi, how's your day going so far?
Yeah, it's great. Busy as well. Yep.
That's good. That's good. Probably
Mhm.
doing a lot of interviews. Um, I'm interested. My first question is, when did you first decide that you wanted to direct a movie yourself? Because you had worked on a number of movies prior.
Yeah. Well, it's the actually long time ago. It's like when I was 20. I was in the industry when I was 19, and I realized actually what I wanted to do is the make movie, the direct movie. So when I was 20.
So you decided to start off by doing the effects then?
Yeah, the reason I chose this job is because of the movie. I just fall in love with just the movie itself. And then, of course, especially the makeup effects attract me a lot when I was a kid. And I decided to pursue this career. But it's in deep mind, I have a happiness that I was working for like Hollywood movies.
Do you feel like there was one of them that you were working on that made you feel more comfortable as a director?
Oh,
Like,
I'm sorry. Can you repeat?
one of the movies that you had worked on, like Avatar or Captain Marvel, do you feel
Mhm.
like one of them made you feel more confident as a director?
Yeah, yeah, I do. Yeah, it helps my career. Yeah, it does.
Okay. What was the biggest difference for you for being behind the camera instead of handling stuff before it goes on screen?
Well, sorry, could you repeat again? That's the question.
The sorry, the question is, what is the biggest difference between directing your own movie versus being on set, being directed on how or what they want you to do?
Oh, okay. That's a huge difference. Yeah, of course. It's the so doing the makeup effects. It's just part of the movie, and I we are producing what they want to use, and of course that's a job, and that has of course satisfaction. I often work for the big Hollywood movies, and it's gonna be all over the world. And that's one part, but then also the directing the movie is even if it's small, I get control, what I express what I wanted to do, and just the people trying to produce, based on what I'm looking for. So that's a huge difference.
So with End of Loyalty, um, the I believe that's the title, End of
Oh yeah,
Loyalty.
yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Is there how long was that in the process of coming out? Like when did you first decide or when did you first
Yeah.
know that you were directing the film? Was this a COVID thing or
Well, it's not the COVID thing. It's about the funding, of course. Like every indie movie is, problem. It's a funding. And I got the project, and until I get funded, maybe it took about a year. And yeah, it's about 1 year, I would say. Yeah.
now, I know you directed, but did you have any did you write or have any input on the writing of the film?
Yeah, of course. I have a writer, but it's based on the original story was that's his idea, and I got the script and the work together. Right, there's a put my idea and my opinions, and adjust it. Yeah, of course.
Um, can you tell me like what's the biggest difference between how it was going to be versus how your vision changed it?
Mm, okay, so it's the on the script, we don't have any location and actors yet. So once we get actors, that's a major thing. It's the actor themselves can make their create character alive, and so that's the most cases, if I get the good actors, just they perform like a beyond my expectation, which it's pretty good. And we got everybody, and it's pretty really good, really good. And then the location, so once we start looking for the location, so there's a limitation with the budget and like a schedule, and there's things we can do or things we cannot do, based on the script. So sometimes it's good, sometimes bad. And it's good thing is one location we had is the where they crashed the airplane in the field. So they renting out as a location. It's not real, crashed plane, but the owner bought the like an old plane and just decorated there and renting out the location, and which is incredible. So we could never think of that, during the script.
So the action thriller aspect of it,
Mhm.
are you hoping to, or is that your favorite genre? Is that what you want to continue to do going forward? Or do you have like, would you prefer to do horror or comedy or something different?
Well, it's I don't have anything specific I want to do. I love every kind of movie. So I did the horror. So now I did a suspense action. And so I want to do sci-fi, but that's of course it costs. So, and like a Back to the Future is my ideal movie. It's got sci-fi effects and the comedy and the great drama, and the story is incredible. So pure entertainment is what I'm looking for.
Do you think that it would be, well, did you do any makeup effects in this and End of Loyalty?
There's almost no makeup effects in
That,
the
okay, I didn't
yeah,
think so, but I
yeah,
wanted to preface my question.
yeah.
Would you do effects on a
Mhm.
movie that you were directing, or do you think that that would take you out of the situation too much?
Well, it's the first film I directed, that was the horror film. So 80% of the makeups I've done myself because it's cheapest. Yes.
Well,
So
that's
if I
wonderful.
look for the quality I'm looking for, it's really cost. I can ask my friend, and a few things I can ask my friends, but I cannot ask too much because they're super professional and top level of people. So it's much faster and easier if I do myself. But I'd rather not do that if I have a good budget.
Are there any
Mhm.
excuse me. Are there any bits that people haven't asked you that you would like to share about this new movie?
The new movie or this one? End
The
of
End of Loyalty.
Oh, so sorry, question again.
Is there anything that people haven't asked you that you'd like to share with the audience about the movie?
So explaining about the movie?
Yeah, I just mean like
Mm.
when you get interviewed, people ask you a lot of the same questions.
Yeah.
But curious if there's anything you haven't been asked that you would like
Oh,
to share from your perspective.
it's it's an action movie. So I featured a lot in action itself. And in order to compete with the like a bigger budget movie, so we can do something major. So I have to think of something unique and have to create something that different from the typical movies. So that's the one focus point I had. I had a great character, Japanese bodyguard, and his martial arts, in the movie, his martial arts skill is incredible. It's beyond the normal people. And so he did amazing action, and his character itself it's really sell this movie. And yeah.
That's awesome. Now, did you say you have another new movie coming out?
Yeah, it's not coming out yet, but planning to shoot in March, like next month. So it's gonna be the horror feature.
What is that one called, if you don't mind me asking?
It's called the God of Death, but we may change the title. Distributor don't like the title, so we may change the some point. It's a working title.
Was the title for End of Loyalty always that title, or did it
Yeah,
get
that's
changed?
always the title.
Okay.
Yeah. Mhm.
I have a couple other questions about some of your other things that you had featured in and worked on.
Yeah.
Such as Captain Marvel. I was
Yeah.
curious. I imagine you did the Skrull makeup.
Yeah.
Um, was there various stages where they changed how they wanted things to look?
There is the okay, so there is a base design of the species. And then so we had a live cast of actors. So there's several people, you know, I did the sculpture of the characters. And so based on the what's underneath, you know, of course, you know, slightly different. Or, you know, we are all human being, but everybody's got a different face. It's the same thing. So based on the shape we have, you know, after the face, then we create the different look of the same species.
Okay. Now,
Mm.
is it something where they showed you exactly what they wanted, or did you kind of go in and do your own little flair and
Yeah,
then they,
always. Yeah, there's always some sort of a freedom, you know, but as long as you stick with the base.
what do you think was or what is usually the most difficult part when you do movies like that or Avatar?
Also difficult part. So if there's makeup, always there's a limitation because if there's somebody's inside. And so if they want to change the proportion, so that's the difficult part. You know, that's the lose the function. So you know you cannot move eyes, you know, to the different place, you know, as long as we're using the actor's eyes. But you know, some designs required, you know, changing the position of the eyes. So you know that's the so design, you know, sometimes combine with the CGI and sometimes just trying to do with just makeup effects. So that's the you know, those changing the proportion is always the tough thing to do.
Do you think that there was one film that
Mhm.
was hardest for you so far?
Okay, it's a tough question. Let's think of something everybody knows. It's not the way you are expecting, but you know, schedule-wise, tough thing. There's many. It's like Pirates of the Caribbean, you know, on Stranger Tide, the fourth one. And so I was in charge of creating the life-size dead mermaid, like three of them in 6 weeks. So that's crazy, crazy. I had 2 days off and always working except for sleeping. So that's one tough challenge, you know, schedule-wise.
Well, on the opposite side of that, was there one that was your favorite or you felt was easiest?
Easiest one is the, you know, mainly I just do a sculpture. So which is the very earlier process of the entire like makeup effects. So you have a live cast of actors and so have a you know sculpture and create the look of the character. So somebody make a mold and a cast and a paint and some character has hair. So hair people is always the tough position because it's the last minute. And yeah, so my part is usually easy in schedule wise. Sometimes I'll be in charge of the entire creating the whole character. So that's always tough. But you know, as long as I'm just sculpting, then that's you know everything's nowadays pretty easy.
So, obviously you feel like you've gotten really used to it. Did you, with Avatar, The Way of the Water being something that was looked forward to for a decade, was
Mhm.
that something that you were nervous going into?
Not really, I've been in the industry, like 30 years. And I know the, studio really well, the place I was working. And then, so without any, this project being been making like over 10 years, a lot of people involved. So it's been 10 years. Sometimes, that studio is not doing, working for the movie, that movie all the time. So pops, here and there, all of a sudden, okay, here's Avatar saying, can you do that? So that way it came. So that's the supervisor came, okay, next one is Avatar. Okay, so what I do? Like, yeah, it's like a daily life.
So how long ago then? Obviously, it's been in production for so long. How long ago did you do your part for
My
Avatar?
part, it's maybe like 3 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
When you watch the movies that you did work on, does it take you out of the situation? Like, do you feel differently, or is it almost better for you?
It's mixed feeling. Some movies I can get into, but then if I'm working on that movie, always, that's the I have eyes on like a professional eye, and checking how I look, and so that's the as long as you're professional, you can avoid it.
So can I ask what you did for Pacific Rim?
Oh, that's the first thing I did is there is the presentation, like a director is hired from the production, and he has to present to the studio. So this time it's the Fox, the Warner Brothers. Yeah. So before movie get green light, so we did a presentation. So I created the Jaeger, the first Jaeger
Yeah.
in the world. So we made a diorama of the Jaeger and the creature kaiju is fighting. So the other artist created the kaiju, so I created the Jaeger. So that's the first thing I did. Then so did a presentation and the movie got the green light. Then I sculpt the Gypsy Danger, the main robot, and for the digital scanning. So CG artist scans out my model, then just enhance those. So
So
I made,
something,
yeah.
sorry, I'm sorry, I didn't
Oh,
realize
and
you
I made the prototype. Yeah.
got you. So
Mhm.
something that is more recent is the Mandalorian and the Obi-Wan Kenobi,
Mhm.
both of which you're working on or have worked on already.
Yeah.
Um, is it did you do any of this like same type of creature or characters in those
Mhm.
in the separate shows?
Yeah, it's the Mandalorian did several alien head sculpted several alien heads, and Obi-Wan is the part of the makeup stuff for the Darth Vader.
Oh, okay. Cool.
Yeah. Mm.
Cool. That's awesome. Um, do do you have a favorite out of everything that you've worked on?
Oh, you know, I haven't watched the show, so I don't know the name of the character.
Is there when you're doing things, is there
Yeah.
anything that makes you like feel back to like when you were a kid again and first got a spark for movies?
Yeah, I do. I do. Yeah, it's the especially Mandalorian is the Star Wars is the movie was never made in LA. No, every production is in England, shot in England. Yeah, in the studio in the Bay Area. So it's I believe it's the first Star Wars project in LA. So of course, that's the working for Star Wars is one of my dream. Everybody's dream. I think.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Um,
That's quite exciting. Yeah.
when they brought you onto that, was that a quicker turnaround of what they told you they wanted and you having to get it done based on the fact
Yeah.
that they were Disney Plus shows and they were trying to get them out so quickly?
Yeah. It's just it went pretty fast. Then also the character is based on those movies. It's the stories after Empire Strikes
Yes, I
Back.
believe so. I believe
Yeah.
so.
So character is already established. That's here the character from the movie. So we are kind of recreating those. So which is it's kind of exciting part. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Is there anything that any kind of franchise that you would like to be involved in other than Star Wars?
So any other movie?
Yeah, any other like franchise movies that you were into as a
Oh,
child that you'd like to do other
yeah.
than Star Wars?
Man of Steel. Like a Superman movie. And what's the name? I missed the thing I really wanted to work for.
Which was it? Can I ask?
Yeah, the thing, the
Oh,
prequel of the
you
thing.
missed the thing. Sorry, I
Yeah.
misunderstood it first.
Yeah, I
I
was.
think they're doing a reboot of that, or that was in the rumors, so maybe you have your shot.
Oh wow, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So I think that mostly covers everything. Is there anything that you'd like to plug or talk about for future projects or anything you've done recently that's not out yet?
Well, it's the not for the makeup effects industry, but I'm more going towards the directing career. And of course, and the loyalty, I have to be, spread and lead to the next project. And the next one is already, a script is done, and I'm preparing for shoot, which is like a month away. And so please keep eye on those, and you guys can follow my like a Facebook or the Twitter. Then yeah, I can just update the information.
What is just out of curiosity, what is your Twitter account? So that listeners and what is the name of your Twitter account? Is it just
Oh,
your name?
Twitter account. It's my name, Hiroshi Katagiri.
Okay.
Mhm.
So just at Hiroshi
Yeah,
Katagiri.
yeah.
Okay. I'll make sure to include that in the stuff as well.
Oh, great. Yeah, thank you.
So that's about all the questions I had then, and I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up. I appreciate you taking time to speak with me.
Yeah, thank you very much. And let me know when article come out.
I will definitely do so.
Yeah.